Hannah looked around, but couldn't see Lucas anymore. So she just went on, certain that he just went ahead while she wasn't paying attention. It took a bit till she reached an old staircase. She could see fresh footsteps on the stairs, proving that Lucas had to be there before her. At the end of the stairs was a giant door waiting. The door was enough open to allow her to enter the room behind the door. Her auntie didn't stay unnoticed, as she had to learn the hard way. A chain moved around her arms and legs, forcing her to lose the bit of balance she had. Her body touched the floor before she got dragged to the middle of the room. Her resistance felt too much. Lucas regained the ability to see after a few seconds. He wasn't in the cave anymore. He was alone on an empty battlefield. After noticing that his body wasn't restrained by the magic in the cave anymore, he sent out his mind, searching for a spark of life on this battlefield. What he found was much a relief as a nightmare. The death of hundreds of people was in the air, and every second new souls followed their fallen brothers. He reached the center of the current battle. He tried to grab one of the people fighting, but his sense just went through that warrior. It wasn't just the one. He couldn't change anything about the bloodshed. The battle shifted as a flame spirit appeared. Something seemed familiar about it. Then Lucas noticed the odd color inside. Then it clicked. It was the same color than the cave and Rena's protection. This time just a lot more lively. The spirit attacked both sides. None of the warriors survived, but the spirit didn't seem to be finished. A young man appeared next to him. Damn it. I'm too late. I should have saved him. The man whispered to himself. The spirit flew towards the man. He just extended his hand as the spirit attacked. The flame got cancelled the moment it entered the man's range. He just kept standing there, waiting for the spirit to take a breath. The moment came after an eternity of waiting. Leviathan, lend me your strength, the man shouted. The air became more and more tangible. Lucas remembered the feeling from the ocean, just stronger. Seeing the real strength of two spirits fighting, he could just stand there and watch. Considering how quickly the fight began, it ended the same way. The man looked in Lucas' direction. I don't think you have the time to just stand there and watch. The next moment, he was standing in front of a giant door. He could hear Rena scream for help as a masked man stood over her tied up body. He drew his knife, ready to stab her. After saying a short prayer, the knife went on its way. Lucas crossed the distance as fast as his body could. He rammed his hand into the knife to stop it from moving. Surprised, the man let go of his weapon and jumped back. Lucas pulled out the knife with his hand and looked around. 3 masked people were around. 2 of them were attacking him, while the one who had the knife stepped back. Looking at the knife, it was clear that it was meant to cut magic. And going by the looks of it, the 3 were wearing anti-magic gloves. Similar to blood. Lucas threw the knife at the man, hitting a blind spot in his armor and taking him out, giving the room time to close the distance. He barely managed to escape her knife. I'm not letting you go, the woman muttered under her breath. Lucas wanted to press the defense bell, but some started to burn by the mere thought of it, so all he could do was avoiding her. After a minute, the woman lost her cool and went for a killing blow. That was her doing. Lucas stepped beside the woman. Twist. On. With that motion, he cut through her inside. The woman didn't realize how hard her injuries were. After stepping back, he could see that she was pushing herself further, but it was fruitless. He couldn't use his eyes of life perception in that case. He didn't have to. Her life drained with every breath. Then nothing. She just fell. Lucas was standing next to her. It was a shame that he had to kill them without giving them a chance to explain. Because of the second at that thought, he didn't notice the chains. He barely avoided the first one. He had to deflect the second one with his injured hand, causing him to lose balance and fall to the ground. Thankfully, one of the woman's knife lay next to him. With that, he could counter the chains and read the seals. Really? Those chains are made to capture a god? Do you really think you should use them against me? Lucas asked the masked man. He prepared his 6 chains for his next attack. Considering you were still breathing and killed my pawns, I think it's enough reason to use these chains. Then, the chains attacked. Lucas avoided all of them without any trouble, but jumping over them. Oh, for heaven's sake, the chains shot up and trapped him. Feeling his magic slip away, he ignored the risk of his body to burn up and used everything he could. The chains didn't even react. He wanted to use Erika's magic, but that was impossible. The chains were made to extinguish every kind of protection or magic, from this world or not. The chains spun around before flying over the edge of the path. He couldn't move, but he could feel the increased amount of magic in the air. Without any divine protection, his body started to burn up. Every single part of him. The chains were still unaffected. He had to compliment the person who requested those. He made peace with himself. He had to love that some random guy with chains would be his demise. He thought about all the things that led to this moment. From him saving Elka to his return to the city. He wished he could have finished his job in the city and returned to his own world. It would have been nice to see his world in his final moments. Renner rolled to the cliff where Lucas got fallen down. She couldn't see anything down there, but since her options were between falling to her death and getting stabbed by the masked man, she decided to roll over the edge. A chain grabbed her and pulled her back. She tried to resist, but the chains made sure she would stay in place now. The man picked up his knife and walked towards the girl. You know, I thought it would be a bit much difficult to get you down here, not counting for your little friend. But sometimes you have to pay your life with a lie. Now, young maiden, it's time to fulfill your duty. He used his knife to retrace the seal on her chest, with just enough pressure to draw blood. Then he remembered it. The chains negated any kind of magic he had access to, but there was more than magic he had to learn before. He focused his attention to one image. He remembered his trip to Site 30. The moment he touched them, feeling the unnatural surge. Trace on! His hands started to move. The damage reversed itself. It spread from his hands to his arms, then it got to his chest. After a second, it spread to his whole body. The chains tried their best to slow Lucas down, but the only effect could turn against them. With that, he broke the chains finally apart, but he fell already too far. There was no way that he could use any magic to stop the power on his own. Leviathan. He called out to the spirit of the ocean. A wave broke over him. The water slowly stopped his fall. The Leviathan appeared beneath him. Then it started to push him upwards. Using Leviathan as a guideline, Lucas activated his eyes of life perception. He could see the man cutting into Venus' body. Thankfully, none of the current cuts were life-threatening. He could still save her. Then, the light of the path appeared above him. And I wanted to fight against it, but it was impossible. As the man finished carving the seal into her, a strange sound filled the cave. The air started to feel like water. Then, a shadow appeared out of the darkness. Rena closed her eyes. The water swept over her. Something was swept over her body. Reaching the path, Lucas prepared for his attack. Using the Leviathan as a booster, he slid over the ground, punching the masked man and sending him flying. He shortly looked behind himself to make sure the guy was still alive. Then, Lucas turned his attention back to the masked man. How about you just run and then the Hund follow you? Lucas suggested. The masked man summoned 12 new chains. Or I just kill you, the man said in a calm manner. Then the first they made their way to Lucas. He punched the first one. The chain rigged into it and broke apart. The other attacked from 2 different sides. Same result. The chains broke. Lucas slowly walked towards the man. The remaining 9 chains started to attack. The chains tried to hit, but Lucas kept evading them. With every step he did, the distance closed. The man tried to step back, but he had to focus to keep the chains between him and the ball. Right as Lucas was about to deal a blow, the air changed its color, both blue to the side. Rena could feel the seal on her chest burning. She tried to resist as Lucas was fighting the masked man. Sadly, the pain was too great for her. Wishing for it to end, she closed her eyes. A soft voice told her that it's okay to give up. Her mind went blank. Then the seal started to gain a light red taint, slowly increasing till the whole cave was shrouded in a red taint. Her lifeless body started to twitch. Then she rolled to the side. Seeing the 2 boys still fighting, her hate grew against the boy with the chains to bind her, and the reason for the pain inside his body, and against the boy, determined to save the girl. She grunted up dark flames, sending them like spears towards the boy. Lucas felt her presence. He could deflect the force and the damage of the flames, without moving. He dodged. Seeing the mask one getting scared, the plane didn't just burn him, they attacked his body like a disease, rapidly destroying his body. He could sense that he couldn't deflect this forever. He could fight effects, but it would be hopeless. He turned his attention to the spirit. The spirit attacked from all sides. The flames came down like a wave, swallowing Lucas completely. As they burned up, nothing remained. The spirit wanted to leave, taking her body forward. She sensed something watching. As she was turning around, something touched her back. No time to react. The sword exited her chest, just barely missing the girl's heart and the seal. She pushed the sword out and spit some blood before the wound could heal. An arrow pierced her hand and another the other hand. A few more arrows directed her to the center of the wound. She tried to find the attacker, but she was sure there were just the two boys. Air fled up,